Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for your patience. My name is Clifton Johnson. I am the founder of the Empower Series. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we put on programs, financial literacy and personal development programs in Dallas, Houston, and on YouTube. And we do all of this because of your generous donations. So I want to thank you for your generous donations, as well as our supporters and sponsors, Comerica Bank, the Comerica Charitable Foundation. I want to thank them for the long-time financial support. I want to thank AE Media Group, and most importantly, you. Those of you who come, those of you who tune in, and those of you who give your time, your talent, and your treasures. If you want to find out more about the Empower Series, please go to our website. It's www.empowerseries.com. You can donate if you choose to. You can also click RSVP and see what's coming up next. We're doing some great stuff in Houston tomorrow, and then also the third Saturday of this month in Dallas, and the Friday before at the Meadows Conference Center. And then most importantly, too, I would like you to take a survey. If you've had an experience with the Empower Series, either online or at a live event, take the survey and tell us more about how we've impacted your life and how we can do better and be better and make a bigger impact. Our goal for 2020 is to touch over 1 million lives. So here's what we do. Every program we do, we give you hope that whatever you envision, you can achieve. We want to inspire you to take action on your ideas, and then we're going to educate you. So we're going to talk about some education, give you some more knowledge today, and then most importantly, we're going to connect you with resources to help you take that next step towards your goal. And I'm excited today. I'm excited every day, but I'm really excited because I want to connect you to a resource that I ran into last year, didn't know about, but ever since then, I've been telling everybody. Yeah, Goldman Sachs, 10,000 Small Business, which is part of the Dallas County Community College District. And we have Miss Natasha Harris with us. She's going to talk to us about what she does and how she's in your outreach and recruiting. And then we have an alumni from the program who's going to give us the real scoop on what's going down, Miss Jacquelyn Clayborn. She is the CEO of ONC National, which is a telecommunication, infrastructure, wiring, technology type company. But they're both here with us today, so please welcome Natasha and Jackie. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good, thank you.
Good. Well, I want to thank you for taking your time and spending time with us today in the Empower Series community. You're going to empower us in oh yeah, you guys got to put your microphones closer to your mouth so everybody can hear you. But here's what we're going to do. I want you first, Natasha, to tell us about Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses, what you do, and then I'm going to give Jackie an opportunity to talk about her company and her experience with the program. When did you graduate from the program?
Actually in May. I just graduated in May, so it was from January to May. It's about 15 weeks.
Okay, so fresh out. So we're going to get some good stuff from you, right? The real scoop,
That's
right?
That's right.
So Natasha, tell us about the Goldman Sachs program.
Absolutely. So the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program, we've been around Dallas for 5 years. So we just celebrated 5 years. And the purpose is really to help business owners take a deep dive and focus on their business. So oftentimes they're so deep, focusing in their business and not really focusing on their growth plan in the future and the strategic direction of their companies. And so the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program is a grant-funded program, and it's founded and secured by the Goldman Sachs Foundation.
Okay, so like anything, there's a book called E-Myth, Revisited, and they talk about a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we're so busy doing our work and doing our business, we're not taking a step back and really working on our business. So you really require the business owners to take a full day, right? Yes. So how long is the program, is it?
So the program, it is about 15 classes. And so it spans for about 3.5 months. And the classes are often on Thursdays or Fridays, typically on Fridays from 8 to 5.
Wow, that's all day.
All day.
So how successful are you in getting the business owners to really disconnect from their business and really focus in a classroom?
Well, at the end of the day, it's a decision that you have to make. So we are a resource to the community, and sometimes it has taken me about almost a year and a half to get some of the business owners to go ahead and convert and take that deep dive into being a scholar in the program. But I tell you, once they finally make that decision, their mind is made, and the rest is history.
Okay, so the program it's over a period of time. 2 to 1 day a week in the program.
About 1 day a week.
Okay, you have how many different classes do you go through? Three a year?
It's cohorts, and so we have 3 cohorts a year.
All right.
We have a class that starts in January, and then May and September.
All right, so the one in September is going to end in December.
Correct.
And the next one's going to start again in January.
In January, they graduate in April,
Okay.
and we have one that starts in May.
Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to definitely get the information so that people can come. But tell me a little bit more about, not anybody can just come to this, right?
Correct.
So you have to have some minimum requirements. I believe you had to have made over $150,000 in the past year.
Yes.
You have to be the owner or co-owner of the company. You have to have at least 4 employees, including yourself. But then you can count contractors or part-time employees as, a number of them can.
Look at you. I need some help in the outreach department.
But here's what I would tell you. So there's a requirement, and I'll put that out there. But even if you meet the requirements, there's still an interview process that you got to go through, right?
Yes. So step 1 is just basically everything is free. You go online to 10ksbapply.com and you apply. So that's step 1. Step 2, if you are invited to participate in the interview process, you will see part 2 of your application. Part 2 is additional questions about your business, obviously documents, so basically proving that you are who you say you are in your business. And from there's an in-person interview that takes place at Bill J. Priest Center for Economic Development. And from there's an interview panel where they are interviewed by individuals from Goldman Sachs, individuals from our team, and we partner with a lot of organizations in our city. And so we may invite someone just like you to come and participate because, again, this is a community-based program. It's all about job creations and just giving back to the community. And so, yes, the ideal candidate for this program, been in business for at least 4 years, at least $150,000 in revenue, at least 4 employees in the co-owner or sole owner of your company.
Right. And that what that does, that tells you whether they have some level of stability.
Absolutely.
Because everything is not, the timing is most importantly, right? So if you're just in the startup phase, there's some things that you're going to go over that they may not be able to implement immediately. But a company at that level of maturity can really take the stuff that you're going to share with them and then hit the ground and run with it, right?
Absolutely. And if for some reason businesses do not quite meet the criteria, again, we are a resource to the community. And so we offer other resources for them in the event they're not ready for our program. We follow those people, put them in our pipeline, stay in touch with them. Also, there's a lot of resources in our building, Bill J. Priest Center for Economic Development. So there's the SBDC, which is the Small Business Development Council. Then there's Lift Fund, People Fund. There's a lot of free programs out there that are really beneficial for small business owners if, in fact, they're not ready for our program yet.
Yeah, so it's very important to get connected with you, right?
Absolutely.
Get connected so that you'll know what's available, and even if your program is not the one for them right now, then there's other resources that you can connect them with, like SCORE, Small Business Development Center, and things of that nature. So I've been telling everybody, and for those of you who are interested in just hearing from some of the alumni, you did a program last year, you and Malcolm. You did a lunch and learn, and then Malcolm did the workshop, and that's out there on our YouTube program. So you just Google Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business and Empower series. You can at least hear from a number of different alumni who went through the program. And so you presented, and then we also have a live alumni with us, right?
Yay.
So Jackie, you fresh out. So tell us, how did you find out about the program, and what was your experiences through?
Well, I actually worked with a vendor, actually a partner, and they had finished the program right before, and they nominated me for the program. They got me in touch with Natasha, and she followed through and taught me a lot about the program and how we could actually grow our business to the next level. Once she did that, I was super excited. I really love the program. I love the peer-to-peer learning. I love how you can be a newer company or 15, 20, 30 years in the game.
Yeah.
And all of us are sitting together and we're learning from each other. That was a really big part of the cohort for me that I loved.
Yeah, and so like you said, the minimum income requirement is $150,000 a year, but there are people who've been through the program who've made over $3 million, right?
Absolutely. I think our highest thus far in Dallas has been about $35 million.
Yeah, so get this. This is not for people just small businesses. Actually, small business has been defined by the amount of revenue, but it's based on the industry that you're in. So even though you might be making millions of dollars, you still might be considered small for your industry too, right? So a little bit about the program and your introduction to it. Did you find it difficult being the business owner and like always, doing the grind, right? Making money, billable hours, or whatever that is. Did you find it hard to take yourself away from the business and dedicate yourself to a full day in a classroom setting?
Well, at first it was a little interesting. I was like, okay.
That's a good word, interesting, right?
Right. They actually, teach us that we have to work on the business and not necessarily in the business a lot. And since I've been doing that, our sales have went up, and so that's a great thing, so our sales have went up. But I think that was the difficult part at first. I was like, oh, I'm back in college. Right. It was a lot, but you know what? It was a great experience. I learned so much, and they're going to teach you things that you can immediately implement in your business. And that's the positive, point of it. So I can steadily see growth from May into now, and we're actually going to exceed our projections that we projected for last year.
Yeah, that's good. The fact that you're not just learning something and it's just sitting in your head. So the byline of the Empower series is ideas in action, because all of the knowledge in the world is not going to do anything if you don't put it into action. So you're actually learning things, and immediately you can apply that in your business, right? And I know that one of the intentions coming out the program is that you develop a growth expansion plan. And so there's different components to that. But the ideal is to grow your business. And like you experienced, you're going to have a bigger results this year than when you started, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And we definitely focused a lot on the growth plan, and that really helps you to project your future. You're going to look at the first 90 days, the 1 year, the 3 year, what is the 10-year target? So it kind of just helps you reformulate the way that you're thinking about your business, and you're able to visualize, what's going to come next. And you can put different things in place that's going to help you grow.
So there's a lot of different components to that expansion plan. So you've got your financials, you've got your marketing, you've got building your team with hiring, you've got negotiation. How do you really structure and do your proposal, your pitch? So what would you say is the most valuable piece that you got out of the program?
Well, it was a lot of different valuable pieces, but I think the best thing for me was the peer-to-peer learning. Okay. Just kind of like sitting and talking to the different owners, and all of us, because we have a mastermind group inside of the group. And so we kind of sit down and we brainstorm, and we go over different ways to create solutions. And we do a lot of case studies as well. So I think that was really important too, to kind of identify, how does the bank make decisions in order to get you a line of credit, or how can we hire more employees and retain them? So they have professionals come in, and we had a ton of financial professionals that come in and, just taught us how to restructure our finances, because that's a big component. So I would say the financial component, and also just the peer-to-peer learning was really important for me.
Okay, well, that's really good, because I will tell you, we've had a number of different alumni as being part of the Empower series. So not only did Goldman Sachs present, and you brought I think 7 or 8 different alumni to speak, but Smokey John's, the owners of Smokey John's Wine and Brent was our graduates, and they came and they've been a part of the Empower series. And then Robert Selders, we just released a video of him. He came and spoke last year. Oh no, it was this year. Gosh, I can't get my year straight. But yeah, he spoke this year about the health and wealth connection, and he owns Garland 3Q Fitness. In Garland, he does a number of different things. So we've had a lot of people be a part of the Empower series that's actually been through the program like you have. So what I'm thinking now is, when you go through the program, the peer-to-peer mastermind was one of the most valuable things that you got in, and Napoleon Hill talks about that, the importance of having people come together and being able to bounce ideas off other people who are been in the business, in your industry, even outside of your industry. But what I want to know is, give me a specific example about something that you actually applied and you put into action that you saw some result from.
Well, I immediately started putting the financial advice into action. Learning how to read your financial statements better, your profit and loss reports, your balance sheets, your accounts receivable, accounts payable, learning what the banks, look for if you're trying to merge your company. What is a healthy bookkeeper looks like, because they were like, hey, once you start this program, you're probably going to fire your bookkeeper and your CPA. And indeed, I did.
Yeah.
So, I immediately, I had to release them, immediately. But, I was able to understand how to interview those people that are going to actually help leverage our company to the next level. And now we have a pretty solid team. I'm like super impressed with the team, the financial team that we have now.
Okay. Well, that's good news. Not so good news for the people you're letting go, but it's good news because it's taking your business to the next level.
And those people were great, but sometimes they may not just be great for the vision at that time. So those people helped us get to where we are, and now they're moving forward.
Speaking of growth, I wanted to share with you, you may remember Shedrick Cole. He was owner of Anytime Fitness.
Yeah.
Well, after he graduated, a part of his growth plan was to open another gym. He opened another gym.
Okay.
And so he just opened Anytime Fitness Grand Prairie, just to let you know.
That's awesome.
So what's cool about this is whatever business you have, and one of the biggest challenges is really building a team that can help you take your vision and your business and your strategy to the next level. And in most cases, the current team you have may not be all of the players, like your accountant or some of your other leadership. And so if your vision is really big, you've got to be able to assess talent, let people go and not feel bad about it, let them do whatever they're called to do later, and give other people who are waiting on the sidelines that's not part of your team an opportunity to contribute and bring your vision to fruition, or bring your vision to fruition, right? So I think that's a good point that you made. So tell me, what are you excited about now? What's the next big thing that's coming up when it comes to Goldman Sachs?
We have Interview Day coming up on December the 10th.
Okay, tell me about that.
So Interview Day, it's a very big day. We're going to have a very big day. We'll probably have over 60 interviews between that time frame. We have so many secured that we're going to have to open up a second interview day.
Okay, and that's for the cohort that's going to start
in January. That's cohort 17. So
Okay.
I've already started the application cycle for cohort 18 that starts in May. We have to start, ahead of time. So that's one of the reasons why we're so grateful that you invited us here to continue to get the word out about the program. It's still the best kept secret out there. We're out there a lot, but there's just so many untapped markets, and we do as much as we can to, bring about the outreach component of this program. So that's why we're so grateful to have graduates like Jackie to be advocates of the program. And so for this upcoming cohort, we have tons of graduates who's going to be out there for us, supporting and helping out with the application cycle.
Okay, so here's the blast. So right now, people are going through the interview process to start their class in January. So don't worry about it. They haven't missed anything because you're opening up the application. And if they go to, is it 10ksbapply.com, they could apply for the next cohort that's starting in May in the springtime, right? So they should definitely do that. If they have questions, do you give out do we put your blast out there, your phone number, your email address?
Absolutely.
So if they have questions, how do they contact you?
They can call me at my office, 214-860-5928.
Okay.
Or they can email me at natasha.harris@dcccd.edu. And that stands for Dallas County Community College District.
Okay, cool. And I will get that out there on our social media as well. So the other thing that's going on is that not only do you guys allow people to go through this cohort, but there are some people, like I said before, who are not going to be qualifying for the interview, or they might go through the interview process and they don't get in. So I would encourage people not to get discouraged. So part of being an entrepreneur is not letting a no mean a no. That's just a no for right now. But you do other things. So there's other things that you do throughout the year. I think you were telling me about an event that's coming up for a certain group of business owners, right? So that's before December, isn't it? When is that?
It's on November 21st. So we, again, as I mentioned, we partner with a lot of organizations out here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So on November 21st, we'll be hosting an event for small business owners. It's open to the public. Everything that we do is free. It'll be at Bill J. Priest Center for Economic Development. And the purpose of this particular session is to help small business owners see how to do business in education.
Okay.
So if you are a minority certified organization or company, you can come out and hear more about how to do business with these organizations. So we have Dallas County Community College District, we have Dallas Independent School District, and the UNT system. And that's including their schools and their hospitals as well. Even if you are not a certified or minority-owned company and you seek to or aspire to become certified, there'll also be information there regarding how to do so. But the purpose is to just learn how to do business with those types of organizations.
So this is a good example because I don't want people to disqualify themselves. When they hear you got to be in business for 4 years, you got to make $150,000, it's like, shoot, I'm not there. So I can see people being discouraged. But like Brent said, make that your goal. So even if you're qualified or even if you're not, being connected with you so that you can know about this event on the 21st is important, because these are the things, and if you're able to apply for any of the school districts or any of the education organizations out there, that could help you get to your 150, or that can help you get to the point where you can apply, hire some contractors or some employees to get you at the employee level piece. So I just want to really encourage people to get connected with you and not let this be an idea that's not acted upon.
Absolutely. And again, if they are not a good fit or not interested in our program, we have tons of resources. So for those who may not, be qualified for our program, when I email them and or call them, I also provide the resource document. So
Okay.
you may not be ready for our program. However, here's a list of 30 other opportunities out there for you.
Okay. So Zarin Gracie at the City of Dallas, right? He was talking about the problem that he sees sometimes with is communication and networking. So there's a lot of different organizations out there that can help business owners, but they're not always connected. So the fact that you just said, if someone comes to Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses, they're not really qualified here, you have a resource sheet that can connect them to other resources. And that's what he's doing. He's creating an ecosystem where when people come in, they can get access to all these different resources that the City of Dallas have set aside for small businesses to grow. And I think that's good. You just gave me that reminded me that I got to get back in touch with Zarin to make sure that we're doing him a favor, because I think he wanted to roll out a program called Build.
Okay.
Toward the end of the year, which is creating that type of resource so people can come and get connected and help increase their level of capacity and qualify for these bids that are out there.
Absolutely.
So back to you, Jackie. I want you to tell me a little bit about your business. So ONC, how long did it, when did it start? What do you do? And tell me more about that.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So ONC National stands for Office Network Connections.
Okay.
So we are a low voltage network installation company. I bet a lot of people are like, so what is that?
Right.
But you know what? Like if you have your cell phone and you click on the Wi-Fi, we actually wire the access point, the wireless access point that connects you to your internet. So kind of like when we were on our phones earlier, we were connecting to the Wi-Fi. We do that. We also wire telephone and computer lines. So we'll use like Cat 5, Cat 6. Those are just the wires that
The thickness of them, right?
Okay. Yeah. That we install. We install security cameras. We started our business in 2016. And I have to give a shout out to my uncle, Frank Hunter. I actually worked for him for about 5 years. He has a company we do the same exact thing, except we're in different markets. And he's been so inspiring to me. And I learned so much from him, like customer service, building your business off of repeat and referral clients, just doing the right thing about, for your team, your employees, your vendors, your clients. So it kind of inspired me a little bit about my background. I worked for him for 5 years, and then I was excited. I kind of got into the car business because I got put together on a car deal, and I was like, this is interesting. Let me figure out how to buy a car. I was young, just moved from Arkansas to Dallas, and I started in the car business, and then I ended up moving from Dallas to Florida to Charlotte, and I was helping my mentor, Mike Rasmussen, kind of set up and structure these different businesses. And then I was like, I think I can do this, So I basically resigned and started the company, and I've been so blessed. There's been so many people that's helped me. It's still people that help me. So it's just like, someone was talking to me the other day, and they were just like, well, I just don't have the money. I'm like, you don't need the money. You just need the idea.
Yeah.
If you have the idea, like, you'll be blessed. People will come and help you, and they still help me today. So that's kind of how we got started. I actually work with my brothers, Brandon, Brian, and Jackson. And then, of course, we have a team of people that work with us. But it's just been a great dynamic to learn a lot from Goldman Sachs. So I took what I learned from my Uncle Frank and then what I learned in the car business. And then I applied everything else that Goldman Sachs has taught me. And it's just you just got to connect the dots,
Yeah. So I'll tell you this. First off, give a shout out to Uncle Frank, right?
Hi, Uncle
Frank. What's
Uncle
up?
Frank. And he's still in business. He has national clients and everything. And he's just been such a great motivation of inspiration to me. So I just had to give him that shout out.
Yeah, and I like what you said about there's a lot of times people disqualify their ideas. And I've met with a number of people, and I just did some research on a new company. Well, it's not a new company. It was a new company to me. It was a company that bought the property where Amazon was looking at potentially buying. And so I did some research on the founder, and I found that he came here from another country when he was 15, didn't have much money, did some work out in New York. And then when he came back to Dallas, he started a limousine company, and he was hustling. He was on the phone doing his rides, right? He was just hustling. Didn't have any money, but he hustled. And then when Uber came, he kind of thought through and he said, well, maybe I need to diversify. I started doing some work in event planning. And so he started getting some deals, and he expanded. And so he started making some money. Then he got into restaurants. And so he opened up some restaurants in Addison, 3 restaurants, and they went bust and lost a lot of money. But then he kept doing it. So Wild Salsa, Chop House, Dallas Fish Market, and Chop House Burger, he opened up those. But he opened them up when downtown Dallas wasn't really doing that well. So he had a vision. And so the point is, he hustled. He didn't let not having money stop him. And many things that you see today started with somebody with an idea, and not necessarily money, but they acted on that idea, shared that with a number of people, was resourceful, and that idea has grown, and we're here today, like this building that we're in. So I like the fact that you said, don't let the lack of money stop you. And you are an inspiration to other people, just like your Uncle Frank is an inspiration to you. So just keep doing the work. I'm very excited about that.
So proud of Jackie.
Yeah. And so what's also interesting is that when you graduate, you have to report back to Goldman Sachs what you're doing. So you just can't go through the program and sit back and not do anything, because they hold you accountable.
Yes.
They do.
So what is some of the reporting afterwards? You have to go back and report something. I know you mentioned something about that when you did the program. So what is the reporting?
So I'll let Jackie expound on that. However, Jackie could not be in this seat if she was not current on her statistics.
That's right.
Of that nature. We have to check the system.
Right,
and yes,
right.
so, the program is free, as we've mentioned. And so the
Okay.
only thing we're asking upon graduation is to take those M&Es, stands for metrics and evaluations. And that way the organizations can continue to identify that they will continue to invest in this program. And so all the programs around the world, it is highly recommended that the graduates do that as a way just to give back, and that way we can see these wonderful statistics. Actually, in this brochure, it shows that, we're very excited about our 99% graduation rate across the world.
So 99% of the people who start finish.
Complete, absolutely.
Okay.
And so we have 88% of these business owners are doing business together. And so the cohorts are small. As I mentioned, they're offered 3 times a year. So you may be in a class between 30, maybe 40 business owners. But upon graduation, we also have alumni clinics. And that's one of the great things about the program. And they're offered a couple of times throughout the year, where, again, I mentioned we have 400 graduates in Dallas. And so those 30 to 40 cohorts, class scholars, can get to mingle and network with the other, 400 graduates. And so that's where all the magic happens.
Yeah.
If you work this program the way that we recommend that you work it, it can be very beneficial both for your business and your network.
Because like you said, 88% do business with each other.
Correct.
So the peer-to-peer matching is a big part of that, right?
Oh, for sure. And I've already done, I think, business with almost 10 of my cohorts since May. And I have a sales background, especially being in the automotives for a while. I immediately downloaded the directory.
The contact list.
Yeah, the contact list. And I started reaching out, hey guys, this is what I do. But, we're all encouraged to work together. And then that's how we continue to do. If we connect together, we grow together, So everyone, I just got one of my trucks wrapped again. And, I went to First Signs Graphics. Indu did that for me. We're doing something with Big Al's Barbecue, Tart Bakery. I mean, I could continue to go on and mention a lot of the people that we've worked with, but I think that that's one of the best things is the peer-to-peer learning and then connecting together after, the program. We still go and meet up and eat dinner and have girls' night and, invite the guys to go to brunch with us. We all connect on different levels.
Right. So here's the thing. I think, again, this is one of the most underutilized resources that one of the most, because there's a lot out there. Underutilized resources. Number one, it is totally free for the people who attend. And what I say is, we can't really say it's free because what it is, it doesn't cost you dollars out of your pocket. But what it does cost you is your most valuable resource, which is your time, right? And so you are really paying for this by committing your time. And then you have a system that holds really these business owners accountable. To ensure that they're not just going to waste their time and not put these ideas into action. And these are proven ideas that help successful business owners excel and expand. So it's like it just does not make sense sometimes for people to go invest their time and then not apply what they've learned. And so the fact that this is a program that is sponsored by Goldman Sachs and the Goldman Sachs Foundation and in partnership with the Dallas County Community College District, these are all organizations that have come together, pooled the resources to really invest in our communities to help our communities increase economic development, employ more people. And I just think you should be bombarded. Your email address, your phone number, people should be going to your website. And also, when you guys go to the website, say that you heard about it on the Empower Series podcast, right? So Natasha will give you just a little bit of favor of, she has a beautiful smile. Can't say that you're guaranteed to get in, but definitely please let them know that you heard about this through the Empower Series because I really want to be a good partner.
Thank you.
With you. And so what should people be doing now if they do not qualify, given your level of experience, because you all have people in your circle that do not qualify. What should they be doing to really help them get to the next point?
I say they can reach out to us. As you can see, Jackie is willing to help anyone. And if I do not have the answer, I know someone that may have the answer or who may know someone that may have the answer. So if business owners want to be successful, they can.
Yeah.
And they can do it for free.
And it's who you associate with. So the biggest thing with, like you said, is peer-to-peer networking. What were you going to say?
Well, when I was in the car business, and I go back to that because I learned so much, but it's like we have to figure out all the ways we can be successful because we already know the ways that we can. One of my mentors used to say that, Jacquelyn, I just want to figure out the way we can make this happen. So like, even if you feel like you don't, you won't qualify or you still should reach out because it may be something. If everything is in alignment, that'll give you your opportunity. They may, that one thing that you're worried about may not even be a worry to them. They may not even be looking at that qualification, So I think you should definitely reach out. And of course, I'm here to help anyone, Again, if we connect together, we grow together. Right, Teamwork makes the dream work.
And I think one of the ladies that attended the one of the cohorts had a baby right before she started the class. But when she first was introduced, she didn't think she qualified, but she actually did. She got in. Plus, she had a baby, and she was breastfeeding the baby during breaks of the class.
We made accommodations for her.
Exactly. So when you talk about all the reasons why you can't do it, stack that up to her situation, right?
Yes. Another story, if I can share, is we have some individuals that drove from Austin weekly.
Wow.
So that's about a little over 2 hours. Generally, it's the rule of thumb for the Dallas site or for all the sites, it's a 2-hour driving distance. These particular individuals wanted a more in-person experience, and so they were able to participate in the Dallas program, but it's a commitment.
Yeah, and that was Michelle Ray. She was actually in my cohort. She's phenomenal. She has a great business, but yeah, she took that journey every Friday.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, a couple of things I want to bring up. Number one, I went to a workshop today at the Texas State Fair, and I met two ladies, and they both had known about Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business. I think one met you and said that you told her that I really want you in the program. However, what they weren't doing, they weren't telling other people about it.
Okay.
So that's one thing that people should do. You know, when you find out, do not keep it a secret. Let somebody know, because even if you don't qualify, there's somebody within your radius that does. So I feel really fortunate that the owner of AE Media Group is actually going through a class right now.
Yes. So excited.
So that is so cool. It was hard getting them in, right?
Yes.
But where there's a will, there's a way. And he's getting some good value out of it. So he's gone through it, and I've introduced so many different people to the program, and I just want many more as a result of this podcast for you to be flooded. And I think you were saying that you have capacity for 40?
Up to 40 per cohort.
But have you ever had 40 go through?
Cohort 1.
And then all of the other ones, it was less than 40?
Yes.
Okay, we got to go right now. We're going to get you to 40.
We want
Let's
40.
see.
I think we're going to attain that for the next
For-
cohort.
For one in January?
For the one in January.
Okay, good. And I want the 40. I want you guys to be over flooded in 2020, because again, if you don't have 40 in the class, that means that there are seats going unfilled.
Yes.
And so we don't want that to happen. So people, the only reason they're not going to do it is because we're not telling somebody. Okay, so that's number one. The second thing I was going to talk about is when you look at the importance of surrounding yourself with people who are smarter than you. So one of the things I was going to say that people who may not qualify, why they should get in touch now, is they should be in the room with business owners that are doing business at a much bigger level than they are, and develop those relationships so that they can get mentored, inspired, and learn. And then also you might find that there's some business there, because if you, just like you said, 88% of the people who go through the course do business with each other. So if you're in a room with successful businesses and you are a business to business or company, then there might be potential prospects there, or you might be able to be a contractor for one of the successful businesses. So there's so many different things and reasons why you should not just be sitting on the sideline and disqualifying yourself, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well said, Mr. Johnson.
Okay, so I'm thinking too, what else can I do to help both of you get your story out there more? Because I want to be of value. So I know you being on the podcast is one thing. Me continuing to blast your stuff out. Look for opportunities for you to share your story, right? You were looking around here just like looking at like wires that are hanging, thinking, okay, is there some might be some business opportunity here.
That's right. You always got to be looking. I'm like,
So what else can I do to assist you in getting the word out there more so you can be a blessing to more people? How would you answer
You're
that?
already doing it, Mr. Johnson. You include us on your newsletters.
Yep.
We're on your website, your podcast, the Lunch and Learns. We're excited that we're now a sponsor of the Empower series, and we just thank you. You're one of our biggest advocates.
Okay,
we appreciate
cool,
you.
cool. Well, I appreciate that. So you going through the program, what would you say to people who are sitting out there right now? Give them some reasons why they should go through the program. If they're thinking, I'm already successful, I don't really need to do this, I can't afford to spend like 14 days in a classroom setting. They have all the reasons in the world why they shouldn't do it. How would you then kind of shift their thinking and say, hey, you should be a part of the program?
I think failure to prepare is preparing to fail. So I feel like Goldman Sachs is actually going to help you prepare for your next level. And then it's so many bright minds that are in that room from every income level you can think of. And I think that was one of the things that really motivated me, like sitting down, talking to these people. And I'm like, oh my goodness, they understand exactly what I'm going through. Because a lot of people aren't entrepreneurs, in which we need everyone at all different type of levels. But it's just like sometimes you go through different stresses or different things that you don't understand, and it's just like, who can I talk to? You have a cohort of people you can talk to, and you have a phenomenal team behind you Natasha is so phenomenal. Like, she's such an amazing person. She works so hard. She's such a connector. Like, I felt so blessed after I got done talking to her. I was like, I have to go to this program.
Thank you.
Yeah, you were amazing. She's amazing. So I just think, really, you just gotta. I think most entrepreneurs want to learn more anyways. And so Goldman Sachs is giving you a free resource, or at least, and hey, the food is good too.
Oh, okay. That's it. Drop the mic, right?
Yeah, mic drop. The food is great. But I would just say, again, the peer-to-peer and the staff is just amazing. And so if you want to learn more, you'll definitely learn. And then they'll have professionals that are professionals in the industry come in, and you might have a question about legal or, finance or business development or how do you hire. I mean, they go from start to finish, what you need to really, get your business rolling, and say that you've been in business for 20 years. It was a lot of people in there. I think our company was the youngest
companies.
Yeah. So ONC National was one of the youngest companies, and I'm like, oh well, okay, I can learn some more,
Right.
So I think that hopefully that answers it. You just gotta want to learn more, and you're gonna have the opportunity to be surrounded by a lot of people with a wealth of information to pass on to you.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, Calvin Golden, I don't know if you guys know who Calvin Golden is, but he was on our show last week, and he was the guy that really helped Antonio Swad and his partner, Wex, I don't know his last name, but when those two people came up with Wingstop in Garland, Texas, they wanted to franchise the model. And he has spent a number of years in the franchise industry, and they called him to help them take their process, systematize it, create a circular, the franchise circular and training program, and actually sold the first 13 Wingstops. And he bought 8 himself. But when he shared his story, he talked about when he had the idea of being an entrepreneur, didn't know how to do it. He was working in Houston, but there was an entrepreneurial class in Dallas. So just like you have people who are driving from Austin, he said, he drove every week from Houston to Dallas to take that class. And that was his beginning. But his first idea didn't work. He kept it up. But he talks about now, as a consultant, given his history and how he's laid the foundation for what Wingstop is doing now globally, he talks to business owners, and he talks to business owners around the world. And he says one of the problems is that when you look at these different businesses, they have a model that could be global, but it's not duplicatable. They really haven't taken the time to create, okay, how do I dumb my process down to where a 6-year-old can do it?
And you know what? That's one of the things that Goldman Sachs talk about as well, processes and procedures.
Yeah.
So I'm a little OCD, just a little. So that was the perfect class for me. I kept on like race. I was like, I can help. I understand this.
Actually, that class was today.
Oh, really? Was
and
it?
Malcolm Mayo was the facilitator.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, processes and procedures are huge, and that's how you're going to kind of level up to the next level. So they even have a portion of that they discuss, which is great. That was my favorite class.
But to your point, it's very critical, because when you look at these bigger companies, whether it's Microsoft, Apple, AT&T, whatever it is, those are big companies that will continue to grow and operate regardless of who's coming in or going. And the other thing is that these are learning organizations. So whether you're small or big, you always want to be learning. You can never be at a point to where you're good. Because if you have the perception that you're good, you're actually losing. Right? And if larger companies can continue to grow, if you can have companies that's in this room that've been in business for 20 years, then why do you think you shouldn't be there if you're less than that?
And you know what? I think that's the processes and procedures are one of the reasons why our company has been so blessed in like working with a company like Amazon or Coca-Cola or Walgreens. Like for us to be, a younger company and then land different contracts and opportunities with those, it came from the processes and procedures, and we just feel so blessed for that. And then I even learned more through the program, Goldman Sachs.
Yeah. So Goldman Sachs is a great program. I know that. So here's the other thing. So whether you're for-profit or nonprofit, the program I just went through, we were talking about getting funding, and having documenting your processes and the outcomes from your programs. And one of the consultants said, people do not fund visions. They fund plans. And so in your situation, when you're looking at getting contracts from other businesses, they want to look at what is your process, what is your plan, and how can that assist me in getting a return on investment that I'm looking for. So whether that's a for-profit business or whether it's a nonprofit business, it's very important for us to sit back and really document our process and say, this is what we do. This is what we're going to do with our resources. And whether it's me or whether, when I don't wake up, the company's going to continue to grow. And that's so critically important. So I think that's one of the biggest things that a small business can get out of this, especially if your business requires you to make money. That means there's some growth there. You need to do something in your business so that your business can continue to make money without you.
And you know what? I'm going to give all the applicants a little hint.
Only on the Empower Series podcast.
You get it live. No. Yeah, so that's like one of the questions. Can you guys, they're going to ask, hey, can you actually dedicate yourself to, being here for 15 weeks? And if you say no,
that's exactly why you need to come, right?
Yeah, that's exactly why you need to come. And so that was a blessing for me to actually say. And sometimes we're scared. We're like, oh, well, I don't know if I can be out like 15 weeks. You just got to do it. Just do it, like Nike say. Just do it. You just have to do it. And then once you do it, you'll see growth in there. And so now every Friday I am off. I don't work in the business. I work on the business on Fridays. But before, I'm working 7 days a week. I'm like, what are we doing? Yeah. So now it's taught me, and I've been able to actually leverage our company to the next level because I have clarity now. And so our class actually met on Fridays. And so now Fridays is working on the business, Mondays as well. Yeah.
But that's a good point because there's a book out there called Slowing Down to Speed Up, right? Mm-hmm. And this is a way to where if you don't think that you can slow down for a day or 2 days a week to learn something, to sharpen your axe, to do better when you start up again the following week, then that's exactly why you need to slow down.
And I read a book, Traction, and I got it from Goldman Sachs, and it just talks about, it's 100 different ways we can manage our business, but let's focus on the 5 or 6. One, you're going to have a clear vision. So you need to write your vision down, calculate the cost, work the plan. Second, you're going to have the right people in the right places. You're going to have to be able to read your data. You're going to have processes and procedures. And then you're going to have to be able to address the issues. So I remember last year before the program, I had a couple of issues and I'm like, this is not working. It's because we didn't fully address them and correct them and then create a process and procedure for them. So once you're able to address the issues, then you're going to have traction. And that's what we have, traction.
Okay.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Goldman Sachs, 10,000 small businesses.
So I like the fact that you broke it out that way because there's sometimes people are just thinking, man, that sounds like a lot of work, or they stop themselves before doing that. And unless you just push yourself in those type of situations for growth, then it will never happen. There's another book that this guy made a point that there's no level of greatness that cannot be exceeded. So wherever you are, whether if you're not at the top or the top of your game, or even if you're at the top of your game, you can always do better. But if you're not at the top of your game, it's like, why settle for where you are? Mm-hmm. Do more. And it's not about doing more just for you, but it's doing more because whatever you do is hopefully creating some value for other people, even if it's in the marketplace. And if you're not willing to do whatever it takes to create more value for others, then the question is, do you really care about other people?
That is so strong, like, creating more value. And you'll notice a lot of the people, or at least in my cohort, we had similar hearts. Everyone was just so willing to help each other out. And we still do that today. Like, we might, like, Indu in her company, they did my graphics. And I'm like, I'm not really sure how we're going to do this branding. And she was like, you know what, Jackie, let's take some extra time. Like, they're so hands-on, let's take some extra time. So, like, the teamwork aspect, again, and just that's so much value. Like, this class is so much value because if somebody is calling me, oh, well, you know, I know this person or I know this person, we're all connecting, you know. So I think that that's another reason, you know, to join.
And everyone want to
Sachs.
see.
They pay me, no, just playing.
Well, speaking of that, I want to ask you about this. You talk about how much connectivity and support cohorts are giving each other. Mm-hmm. For you personally, I know that you're very busy. You're running your own business. You know, you got a lot of stuff going on in your life. Do you give back to other people who may not be where you are, but do you give back to mentoring to other business owners? How do you do that? What do you do in doing that kind of stuff?
Oh, for sure. You know, a lot of times maybe because, you know, attraction talks about, you know, you have your visionary, you have your implementer, and then it breaks down the different other departments that you have. I'm a natural implementer, so I'm all about processes and procedures. When I used to sell cars, that's how I was the top, you know, sales representative for one of the top dealerships in the nation. It was because of the processes and procedures. So I'll go for a half a day and they're like, how do you do that? It's because you have to give back, because guess what? Someone gave back to me. Like when we started, I had $0. No one invested in our business, but guess what? People invested their biggest asset, and that was their time. So, you know, I have to play it forward. So, you know, I try to go and do different things with Wings. I love that program.
And what are the Wings for people who don't know?
Yeah, so Wings is a program that help, women entrepreneurs, and you know, they have different scholarships and different programs. And I think does Goldman Sachs sponsors? Goldman Sachs sponsors
participate.
Yeah, participate. Okay. Yeah, so you know, I do that. That's really huge for me, and because it just reminds me of when someone gave back to me. You know, you got to continue to just play it forward. Also, like with some of our cohorts and stuff, I'll actually go and, hey, they have a problem or a question about, you know, sales or the process. I used to implement that stuff. I used to implement the marketing plans and everything like that. I can go and help them, and that's what I do. And they play it forward with me as well. You know, I call that favorite years.
So here's the deal. So one of the things I know about you that you shared is that when you first started your business, number one, you didn't have all the money that you needed, so you didn't let that be an excuse.
Yeah, I didn't have
so
any money.
Don't let the lack of money stop you. But people, you had a vision and you were so engaging. There were people who wanted you to win, and they volunteered their time. They worked, and some of them still work for you for no pay.
For sure, 100%.
So I would tell you that you don't go out asking people to work for you to no pay. I would say that you've got to be about something. You've got to be about giving at a level to where when you give and you just give for giving, you will create an influence of people around you that want you to succeed. And so there's a book called The Go Giver. Not The Go Getter, but it's called The Go. Have you read that book, The Go Giver?
I heard of it.
Yeah, so The Go Giver, and that's what it reminds me of when you were telling me about how people volunteered when you first started your business, and now that you're successful and you're actually paying some people, some of the people who volunteered with you in the very beginning are still volunteering for you. So that's a testament of what's in your heart, and the fact that you still give back. Realize that this is a cycle to where you got to always be giving as you're rising.
And you know what? Marie Martinez, she started out volunteering for years, like since we started. And I met her about 10 years ago, and she was like, Jacquelyn, you know what? I believe in your vision. What do you need me to do? Now, guess what? She's over our operations. She's operations director. Now she has an opportunity with ONC National, but she planted all of those seeds, you know, and I can't wait to see what 2020 brings for all of us, you know?
Yeah, so that's exciting. So I don't want to like bombard you, but if people want to get in touch with you, you're out there doing your work. You're not out there doing consulting and things like that. But if people do want to get in touch with you, do they go through Goldman Sachs or do they talk to your people? You got a gatekeeper? What's the deal?
No, I'm just no, you know, I don't mind. Like if they have questions, they can call me, email me, text me. My email address is Jackie, that's JACKIE .Clayborn, that's CLAYBORN @ONCnational.com. My telephone number is 469-751-8494, extension 1960. Yeah, so call me. Like, even if you guys have questions about filling the application out or what was my opinion about this or that, I'll sit down. We can go get coffee, whatever y'all need.
Yeah.
Just let me know, because it's really about all of us helping each other and connecting together. And you want to be surrounded by like-minded people as well. So if y'all need anything, feel free to call me. I typically work a lot, so, it might be
Be patient,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it might be 3 o'clock when I get back to you, but I will, without a doubt, get back to you.
Yes, she will.
And then you're on social media as well, right? Your company website is
So my website is oncnational.com. So www.oncnational.com. And I'm kind of behind. So I have Facebook for myself.
Okay.
And then we have the other social media outlets that's, at ONC National. But
Right.
I'm on social media, Jacquelyn Clayborn.
okay. Cool. So hopefully they'll reach out to you, the ones that
Yeah,
are
for
interested,
sure.
and you can help them as well.
I would love to.
Okay, good. And I'm so appreciative of you guys taking your time. And also, Natasha, what is the social media for Goldman Sachs if they want to get in
It
touch with Goldman
is
Sachs?
at DCCCD 10KSB.
Look, you told me not to ask you anything that you know the answers to.
I did. However, we are at 10KS. It's 10KSB DCCCD, or just Google it.
That's it.
Just
But it
Google
is, because it's hashtag 10KSBDCCCD. That's it.
That's it. And again,
That's
we're
it.
one big happy family. By the time you reach the interview process, you'll be asking me how my daughter Grayson is doing. We become very personal because we spent so much time together over the course of those months, preparing. And so we will walk you every step of the way. And again, please share information about our program. Even if you're in corporate America and you have a friend who's a business owner, just please share information about this wonderful program. Again, it is grant funded. Grant funded means we don't know how long it's going to be here, but we're blessed to have been here for the last 5 years. We don't know how long we're going to be here. So please.
But while
take
it is
advantage.
there, what you can do is, I always say, if you don't share this program with other people, if you don't share the Empower series, if you don't share Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses with other people, that's the only way they know. Whatever your faith is, I say you can only get blessed through people. So your friend who told you about this program blessed you. And then as you're reaching out and telling other people, as we reach out and tell other people about a good movie, a good restaurant, some sales, some shoes on sale, or whatever you want to do, right? Whatever that is, if you don't tell other people, they're not going to know. And so this is one area I believe that can really transform and help them, transform their lives. So please don't keep this a secret. I want to thank you. We are going to do more. So the intent of this program, I think we did it. Hopefully we've given some people hope. So regardless of how much money they have, if they just got an idea and a vision, they can cast their net wide, and that vision is going to capture somebody that will help them take that next step, either with a program or a resource, or maybe volunteering their time for free, right?
No, for sure. Like, if any of you guys need anything, please reach out to me, because I mean every single word that I say. Like, I will help walk you through step 1 through step infinity, because sometimes it can be so challenging when you're starting your own company. And then I know I was trying to get my certifications and do this and do that, and I'm just like, but see, now I have the map. So I can help guide you. It might have took me 3 years to accomplish this, and it might take you 6 months. If you just connect to the right people, they're going to help lead you down the right direction. So seriously, if anyone needs to reach out to me, I will definitely help 100%.
Hey, and I'm going to get you with Jose, because Jose has a business also, and Jose qualifies for some of the for this program as well. And I tried to give him a map, but I haven't really done it, but you've done it. So there's a connection being made here. So hopefully, if you're sitting at home thinking you don't know what the next step is, you have hope, because there's resources here. I would also say, secondly, you have some ideas in your head. Those ideas ain't doing nothing sitting in your head. So wake them up, dust them off, and put them into action. So whatever that is, if it's reaching out, going to the website and looking at, was it 10KSB ssbapply.com?
You
Or is it
got it.
.org? It's .com?
.com.
Okay, .com. Or is it reaching out and calling you, your email address or your phone number, or just Googling, Natasha Harris and do whatever, reaching out to Jackie. Don't sit on your ideas. Put those ideas in action. The goal is hopefully we've educated them so they've got more knowledge than they did before. But more importantly, we have connected them to you. And this video is going to be out there. So even for people who weren't able to watch it now, this is going to be out there forever. So what we're doing and the content that you're putting out there is really going to help people that are not even born yet. So I want to thank you guys for being a part of my vision and helping the Empower series inspire people to thrive.
We're
Thank
we're
you, and
honored.
congratulations to you.
Oh.
Proud of you.
Thanks. And we're doing some more. So like I said, tonight I'm going to be driving to Houston. So we have our last program for 2019 in Houston. We've got Tebow Rose talking about tomorrow is your today. And so this is your time to thrive and to shine, right? So we're going to talk about that at the Houston Area Urban League at 10 o'clock. And then on the third Saturday, we're going to be at the Highland Hills Library. We're going to have a gentleman talk about don't just survive, thrive. His name is Jay Mamie, and he's going to be he's very powerful. He's a successful marketer, but he does public speaking. He's had a number of different books. And then for our lunch and learn, we have a previous Empower Series attendee. She's a business owner. She runs a training company called People Development and Training. And she's going to talk about overcoming obstacles and becoming a low-limit person. So that's going to be on the 15th at the Meadows Conference Center. So we've got our programs. It's going to be an exciting year, exciting 2020. I want to thank you guys again, and I want to thank all of you for tuning in and watching. Thank our sponsors. Thank you for being a part of the Empower Series. Comerica Charitable Foundation, AE Media Group, Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses. So until we meet again, I want you to be empowered and I want you to be inspired to thrive. So thank you.